And we're back.
Welcome to Andertons TV. It's Ben here. I'm joined by
Digital John.
Digital John.
That's me.
Then you're going to do the insert thing, because that's what happens. And today we are looking at a very new and exciting product from the fine folks at NUX.
Yeah.
We've checked out a few of their products before. The Cerberus was one of the most recent ones. Evolving from that, we have the Trident today. So the Trident has got a lot of the same features and capabilities that the Cerberus has as well, except this also has multitudes of amp modelling inside it and cab. Aviation. Just gonna keep staring at you. Amp sort of simulations and cab simulations on board as well.
And it's kind of like an all-purpose unit. It's got, you know, obviously the amp stuff Ben's just talked about. It's got a load of effects, modulation, reverb, delay, stomps, noise gates. So it's kind of, you know, a rig in a box type unit. Comes in at around 300 quid? No, 350. 350.
350.
So, you know, up end of $300 if you're American watching this, but 350 sterling, British pounds. And you get, you know, quite a lot for that money.
Yeah. It's got, again, like built-in looper as well. So it's the perfect tool whether you're recording. You can either take this out on the road, put it through various cable methods through an amplifier, or do what we're doing today, which is just going straight into an interface there and taking DI out. So what you're hearing is completely on board of what's on the unit itself.
Or FRFR cab.
Yes, you can use the FRFR method as well.
I feel like most people are just going to use it as we're using it now, like straight in, out either one or two XLR, jacks, whatever, straight into something. But again, it's got an effects return, so you can use it with an amp.
You've got headphone input as well, so if you're just sitting about at home on the sofa. Also got aux in as well, so putting backing tracks through it. I've tried it out recently through backing tracks, and it's great. Perfect little tool if you just sat at home in the evening. And
I believe it's a USB interface as well.
Yeah.
So again, just another nifty feature. I really like that when units can do that. It saves a lot of needing something else when you go traveling.
Yeah, super simple. Not loads and loads of sort of menu scrolling. There's an element of diving to it. There is also an editor as well, which we are going to be using to show some of the tweaking on board as well.
Yeah.
But what we'll do, starting off, we'll just dive through a couple of the presets. I know that Pete Thornton's done a great deal of work with the guys at NUX, and what's great is out of the box, it does give you multitudes of his sort of different presets as well, which you can just either tweak for yourself. We're currently starting with the VH4 model, which is a sort of diesel amplifier. What's great about the editor as well, you can see exactly, if you're not too familiar with the names, the whole imagery of it, like a lot of other sort of multi-effects units and other manufacturers, they give you that image representation of what it's trying to be.
And I'm not sure how well you can see this on the overhead cam, but if you go into edit a preset and you go to the amps, so you can you see that well on the overhead, the amp picture?
Kind of.
Yeah, so again, you can kind of visualize what amp is in the block. You know, it's a small screen, granted, but they do a good job of approximating what they're going for. And as you can see on the screen there, it's changing with it. So you don't need the editor to edit patches. You can do it all from the unit itself. But if you like seeing things visually and, you know, all in a row at the same time, then the editor's probably for you as well. And it's just a little USB out the back, nice and simple. Yeah.
Should we go through some out-of-the-box tones?
Let's do
Show
that.
you what you get.
Yeah.
Let's start with something clean, so Fender-ish. Let's hear how it sounds. That's really nice.
Yeah, that feels good.
Again, this is just one of Pete Thorne's presets, because why would you not use them if they're there out of the box already?
Good at dialing sounds in, that man.
But again, it just includes a lot of the iconic models. So again, JCM, it's pretty evident what that is.
So got a screamer on it as well. Yeah, sounds like it's got a boost on it.
Yeah, so
yeah,
you've
cool.
got a boost on it.
Cool, all right.
boost off, then kick it in.
Yeah, nice bit of chorus on that as well for a bit of 80s-ness.
And then something a bit more vintage vibes on the plexi side of things.
Nice.
Reacts pretty well actually. You get that sort of sag that you would get out of the plexi as well, which is that thump in the low end.
Cleaning it up a bit, see what happens. Yeah, cool. Feels great.
Buddha, you don't really see those amps about much anymore.
I like that, feels good.
It's quite honky.
Yeah, I like the mid-range. Mid-range is neglected often. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth also pointing out that you can obviously tweak these presets how you want it as well. So again, I'll just dive into it on the actual unit itself here, because I think it's important if you're going to be tweaking on the fly, you're not going to be carrying around a laptop most of the time.
And there's a slight learning curve with this. It's mostly done, apart from the actual dialing in of like the delay, reverb and effect stuff, most of it is done with these two dials here. And it's a click in and scroll vibe. You know, obviously there's no touchscreen, it's too small. But there's, I think, again, a nice mix. Quite a lot of modelers are doing this nowadays, where you've got some tactile controls as well as the screen. So, for guys who like a bit of both, it should suit them. So, anyway.
Definitely. So, start off on your home screen, and then if you select on the right-hand side here, just press it in. It then brings up your signal chain, like you'd also see on the computer screen.
But it goes from right to left on the device, and then left to right on the computer, which is a bit of a a message ahead. But, after you've got over that, it's fine.
And if you don't know your left and right straight up, then this is a nightmare.
Yeah.
No. Right. And again, you can see here the units that are highlighted are ones that are on currently. So if we went over to the cab, for example, and we wanted to change, it does also come with a whole multitude of different microphones, your standard sort of iconic mics, and you'll see here as well along the bottom of this screen, you can go between page, mic, the placement of this mic and the level. To scroll across, it uses these buttons here. So you can see, and that's highlighting the microphone. So instead of going for 414, I mean, I'm a big fan of the E906. So do you want to, if I go back to the 414, and then go across to 906.
Yeah, more low mids and darker.
Quite like that. And again, you can change the placement as well. So if I go across now, so we're central at the minute, and then middle, and then edge. So think of it as you've got 3 stages of brightness, obviously. For those who aren't too familiar with miking stuff up, center is going to be, that's where your top end is going to come from. I quite like it. I'd rather have it all in there, because what you can then also do on the cab itself, I go back to the page setting and then use this and scroll to the right. You can also adjust how much low or high end you want in it. So for me, I'd rather have it quite bright and just roll it off a bit than try and add stuff in later on. So that's just a little bit of a deep dive into the menu there. If I wanted to then save this preset as well, go back to your button on the left-hand side. The only slight catch of this is if you then just press the home button, it will get rid of your settings. So you do kind of have to save it as you're going along. But again, just hold it in. You can rename it if you want. We're not going to, just for the sake of me not being able to spell. And then just click it again and you'll see it comes across the screen saving, and that's it.
Dead simple.
So if you went across then to, your B100 and then back again, it's going to have your settings there. So it's one of these units where there's not 101 bells and whistles to it, but what it's got, like if you needed to just take this out on a quick travel gig or something, or those who are wanting a bit of an introduction into this like multi-effects world, this is a really good unit to get your hands on straight away, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of got all the necessities, but none of the like kind of, some drum machines and stuff that other units have, which can be a bit of a distraction. This is kind of just about getting a great tone, nice and simply. So, do you want to move on to the effects?
Yeah, as I say, the effects sounded belting off.
So
Yeah.
these are going to be a bit easier to kind of show on the laptop over there, but from the overhead cam, you can, like I was saying, use these tactile dials for this. So you'll see we've got some toggle switches. There are 3 types of delay. We've got BBD, bucket brigade delay, so kind of an analog thing, which I might as well just demonstrate. I've no idea how that's dialed in right now, but... So BBD, it's going to degrade over time, just like an analog decay delay, does. Tape delay, similar thing, a bit more kind of modulation on it in theory, so...
If you turn the level up...
Oh, there we go, yeah. Yeah,
You can hear it at the end, that just starts to get that little bit of flutter on it, which is quite nice.
And then digital delay. Nice. And where's that in the chain at the minute? That's before the amp, yeah? Sound like it was going before the amp. Yeah, and this is a good opportunity to show how you can move something. As Ben showed, click that in. What you can do, if I scroll over, where's my reverb? Oh, sorry, delay. If you hold it down, you'll see it flashes, and I can then move it. Let's put it after the cab, and that should have done the same thing on there. So now that's after the amp.
I think if you're playing under high gain, that's usually what most folk will go for.
So again, that's how you do that. But we've also got a choice of 3 different routings for the delay and reverb on this middle toggle switch. So that's in parallel, and then delay into reverb, and then reverb into delay. And there's tiny little arrows here. So you can flick between those with this. They each have a different sound. Then onto reverb, you've got 3 modes, spring, plate, and hall. Let's hear spring. So... sounds like a spring. And again, we can make this a bit more accentuated. Let's turn up the level a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely a spring there. Plate. Bit softer, warmer, more low end. And then hall. So I kind of in between both of them, I think. So super flexible. Again, you can tweak that a bit more kind of in detail and visually on the laptop, but that's just a whistle-stop tour of the wet effects here. And then you've also got some modulation. So in a similar way, thank you, Ben, we've got 3 types of modulation effects. There are a few more actual devices on the kind of computer that you can see visually. So if we just turn on modulation, yeah, we've turned it on. So if we go through these, so now currently on chorus, if you see on the screen, we've got famous chorus units, to stay political, and yeah, flanger, another famous chorus, rotary, vibrato, and a few other units. So there's more than just a chorus or a trem, but we've also got, so let's actually hear how those choruses sound. So this is currently a D tune. Bit more, retro vibe. Yeah. Let's change that to a rotary speaker.
For all your gospel needs.
Yeah. The flanger. What else? What more? Stereo chorus. I like that.
Yes.
Cool. Tremolo. I believe there was just one tremolo because tremolo is tremolo. What are the... Yeah, so we've got kind of conservative rate and depth. Let's make that a bit more obvious, shall we? So all the depth. So you can get creative.
Yeah.
Good fun. Then phaser. Again, we've got a few different flavors here, so let's do phase 90. It's not enough gain for me to do Van Halen impressions, but yeah, phase 4 stage, uni vibe. Okay, so you get the picture there. Then finally, at the far right, we've got effects. And this is kind of a, I wouldn't call compression an effect because compression is in this effects bit, but it's kind of like another effect.
Yeah.
So let's turn modulation off, effects on. So in the top mode, compression. Again, we've got a few models of compressor here, some that may look very like, you know, notable famous units. Red one, a grey one, studio one. Let's do the red one. And you could use this as a compressor for clean stuff. At the minute, we're kind of using it as a boost, I guess. So without, bit more sustain, you know, bit of life to the sound. Let's try one more. Studio comp, again, it's just going to be a similar thing. But it feels nice and kind of solid and very agreeable
Gives
to play
you a bit
with.
more sustain on the whole gain side of things as
Yeah,
well.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, for sake.
So now onto filter. The second of the effects is top one. We've got a kind of envelope filter thing.
Is there expression for it?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Excellent.
we'll get onto that in a second.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Apologies.
But good point. Excellent point. You can use an expression to control a number of parameters, but yes, you can do that. But for now, this is kind of a, it's like a money for nothing-esque thing. When I was playing around with it, I was like, that's bang on the money for that.
That is, yeah.
You've got an actual wah.
Yeah, it's also worth pointing out on this, you can select through and like Oz was pointing out, you can run an expression into this. So I mean, if what's great, you could get yourself like a little pedal board and even something like, you know, I think Moore do some smaller expressions as well. Wah-wise, that's...
Wah-wise.
Geez, 3 pretty famous
Yep.
types of wah. So we've got the Clyde wah here. Again, it's not, I wonder if it'll let me, I have to probably control the sweep from here. If you play, I wonder if... That
Subtle.
was subtle.
Give it a go.
Yeah, you probably need to just...
Yeah. So
Doesn't quite have the same effect.
expression pedal recommended.
Yeah.
Computer wires aren't going to catch on, I don't think. So, okay, that's filter and then pitch.
Yeah.
So you can take a guess what that device is going to be. You've also got another famous pitch device there. And these are going to offer kind of harmonizer features, which are going to be a lot easier to dial in on that. But Dragon's all right.
It's worth pointing out, having tried it before as well, although it references the sort of the whammy pedal there, which has got that famous sort of drop tune pedal in it. The tracking on this is more monophonic rather than polyphonic, so it doesn't quite handle power chords, full chords quite as well. But again, if you're doing some sort of, you know, Jack Whitey style riffing or whatever on it, then it's going to be absolutely fine for that single note track.
It sounds great.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's pretty much most of the effects covered.
Again, this is a whistle stop tour. Full details on the Andertons website as usual. Oh yeah, you've also got a sense dial here, which is going to affect a parameter on there. As you see, it's changing the kind of root note of this harmonizer.
Should we make a patch?
Let's make a patch, I think. Yeah.
Let's do it. So we're just going to build a patch up from the ground now. We've just taken a standard preset. We're going to build a really nice clean sound, layer it with all the parameters here, so get a nice reverb, delay, cheeky bit of modulation.
Yeah, throw the whole kitchen sink at it. That's what we're going to do.
Let's do it. Let's grab the kitchen sink and do it. So if we start amp-wise, let's have a look through some of the various models. So I like a twin sound.
Yeah, I could do that.
That's quite nice.
So far, so good.
Yeah. Do you want the bright on or not?
Or try it.
On. I think it's nice with humbuckers, just adds that little bit of top end to it.
I agree.
So,
How many amps are there?
Good question. There are 24? Hang on. 27. So close. There are 27 amp simulations. Yeah, so of the 27, we've gone for this Twender
Twender fin reverb.
Yeah!
Twender fin reverb, yeah. So a twin reverb.
maybe a little less bassy. This is probably a good time to point out, as a tuner built in as well.
Good point.
Just hold down the boost, all of your tuning needs, and let's definitely speed this up.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
Sweet,
Cool.
I'm happy with that.
I nearly killed ours. So that's, again, just as the clean as it is, that's fine. I think let's now move on to reverb. That's probably going to be where we want to spice things up a
Let's
bit.
do a plate. I'm happy with that, yeah.
Yeah, that's quite nice. That is not over the top. Delays yet? Or
Yeah, Bucket Brigade, please.
Bucket Brigade.
Yeah.
And should we have that going into the reverb?
Yes, please. Nice, can't play very well.
Lovely. Cool. Let's take it off for the second because that might be nice for some lead stuff. Modulation's got to be chorus, isn't it?
Yeah, that stereo chorus was
Yeah.
excellent. There we go. It's pretty much there already.
In fact, even you put that delay on there, that's...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really nice, that is. I mean,
What about some compression?
I was going to say that'd probably be the next thing. Let's whack that on there. This is probably going to be slammed.
Yeah, it feels good.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, another thing you can do on this as well that it doesn't show on the sort of the physical buttons on the unit. Again, this is, you don't have to do this, but there is an EQ block as well. I tend to like running an EQ, particularly with humbuckers. So maybe if I was to go across, pull out a little bit of that sort of 200 hertz, just reduce some muddiness,
Yeah.
maybe boost a little bit in the mids. It's quite nice. I suppose boost, BR next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tube Screamer's a bit kind of too on the nose. I think something a bit more mid-rangey. Oh, actually, the gold also might be pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's give that a go. I wonder what that's based on. Let's turn.
It sounds like you've got Morning Glory, John.
Can't help myself.
Just turning that off, just keep going.
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe you want to, you could kick a little bit, maybe bring the level down a little bit on that, just to give it a bit more of a,
Yeah, level down, drive up.
let's do that. That's
Cool.
quite nice.
Yeah, happy again.
We've used pretty much a lot of the parameters. Maybe cab we haven't looked at yet on this.
Yeah.
So at the moment, this is, again, just the standard. I think what's worth pointing out with this as well, kind of similar to a lot of other big multi-effects and digital manufacturers, you don't have to stick with the paired cab. So obviously this has got a twin 212. If you wanted to, you could probably put some sort of Messer 412
Yeah.
on it if you wanted.
Classic combo.
So you can tweak about with that. We're just gonna stick with the twin 212. So let's tweak the mic. So let's go something a little less top-endy, the
Yeah.
7906.
Oh, nice.
That's quite nice. That's the C414.
Yeah, cool.
That's nice. A
Roll
little bit
with that.
nicer. Probably like a condenser type mic.
Let's try it with everything in then. So delay, modulation,
All of it.
all of it, kitchen sink.
turn the boost off.
Yeah. I really like those effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice that is. Should probably save it.
Yeah. Boom.
Boom.
First one.
Saved. Yeah.
And the next thing we haven't talked about is the looper, but we'll do a little demo of that on the outro of this video. But I think for now, that kind of covers this unit. So just, you know, headline figures, £350, British pounds. So it's a great kind of price point for an all-inclusive kind of gig unit. And a recording unit because it's a USB interface as well. Tons of I/O, XLR and jack, super flexible, effects return, can use it with an amp. It's got a laptop editor. It's quite a lot for 350 really.
Yeah, I think it's worth pointing out as well, people have uploaded their own IRs and stuff into it.
Yeah, you can do custom IRs, yeah.
If you start diving into that world, then it's worth doing. But to be honest with you, the onboard cabs sound pretty great. Like, those tones were amazing.
And it's built like a tank as well. It's a good quality item. So yeah, check it out over at andertons.co.uk. Like and subscribe. He's been Ben, I've been John. Appreciate it.